Tonight, it came late, but it came just the same.
This storm is going to bring some fairly heavy precipitation totals right through into the evening commute home.
Snow through the afternoon impacting the commute home. We are live with our eyes on the road. A business owner is sounding the alarm after multiple break-ins at her Maryville locations.
I call the police every day, and then I don't even know should I call or not. Yeah, it makes me really worried.
No arrests yet. She says she and her staff now feel unsafe at work. And a new bridge between Canada and the U.S., now part of the Great Divide.
Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion, and that in the construction of the bridge, obviously there's Canadian steel, Canadian workers, but also U.S. steel, U.S. workers that are involved.
Why the Prime Minister says he had to set the record straight after the U.S. President's latest threat. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on the winter storm hitting the capital. The region getting yet another dump of snow during a winter where it seems to never stop. Crews are out trying to keep the roads clear, but the heavy snow is having a big impact on the evening commute and will likely slow things down into tomorrow as well. As we take a live look through our Skycam, the snow continuing this hour. It has been snowing steadily since about 2 o'clock this afternoon. It is -9 out there right now, and this is the immediate impact. As we take a look at the Queensway tonight, a crash on the Queensway on-ramp, Woodruff eastbound. It did have all of the lanes blocked eastbound for a while. As you can see now, traffic is getting around that collision site on the left. Traffic moving very slowly headed westbound as well. So this is the situation that commuters are dealing with tonight. Now, CTV's Caitlin Wilson is out on Coventry Road and joins us live with more. Caitlin.
Yeah, Patricia, things are moving pretty well where I am. They're slowing down a bit in the eastbound lane, and things were pretty backed up earlier as the snow plows came through working to clear some of those roads. But nevertheless, it's not great out here. Things are slick. Roads are slippery. So if you are headed out, make sure you give yourself lots of time. The snow is enough to keep some people inside, but not Jen Flemke. It's why she runs.
I thought I could catch it because I enjoy running in the snow with this, snowflakes coming down.
And there's been plenty of it this season, with more on the way. Environment Canada issuing a special weather statement for Ottawa, calling for up to 12 centimeters of snow throughout this evening.
The best part, probably no schoolwork.
Which is just fine for best friends Harrison and Corbin, who are making the most of the day. School buses were canceled across the region, and with them, their class ski trip.
A little bit bummed, but then we figured out we had each other. Yeah. And we decided to go sledding down.
Snow started falling early, with officials warning it could make for a messy commute home.
As always, the more people we can have that make alternate arrangements so they're not out on the roads during those peak periods will help our teams get through and clear the roads and sidewalks faster.
The frequent cold and snow this winter keeping both city crews and private companies busy. More than 180 centimeters of snow has already fallen this season.
Let it stop. We're at about 30 times going out this winter already, and we worked about the same time already, and now it's February 10th. Then we did work last whole year.
Back at the Toboggan Hill, while some are ready for a little reprieve,
I do hear a lot of clients who love the winter who are saying they're just over it.
Others are finding a way to embrace it.
It's good for winter sports.
And there is no winter parking ban in effect. And the city says that's really because of the timing of today's storm. As you mentioned, the snow started about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And right now, the city's working to clear those priority roads before moving into the residential areas later tonight and tomorrow as well. Patricia?
Remember Christmas time when this all looked pretty and we were enjoying it? Caitlin Wilson out in it for us tonight. Thank you so much. And this is a time-lapse video as it did move in. We were initially anticipating the snow mid-morning, but it was closer to 1:30, 2 o'clock when it really started to come down in earnest. Things picked up quickly after that. It has not stopped snowing since, and we are going to see a little bit more of it as well tonight. We do have that special weather statement in effect. There's a travel advisory to consider as well tonight. A couple more centimeters of snow on the way, maybe a little more than that depending where you are, and the possibility of it being mixed with freezing drizzle as well before it all tapers off to flurries tomorrow as we look at the next 24 hours. So at 8 p.m., you'll still be in it by the morning, just flurries into the afternoon, milder temperatures over the next few days. Wind is not a huge concern tonight in terms of blowing snow, but you'll see a little bit of that breeze in the area tomorrow, making it feel a little bit cooler than the temperatures we are registering right now. -9 with the wind feels more like -17. Well, a Carlington business owner is sounding the alarm after multiple break-ins at her restaurants in just the past week. The owner says she now fears for her safety and the safety of her staff, with no one in custody after this spree of robberies. The two restaurants, Spicy Man and Takumi Barbecue, are located at 956 Merivale Road. CTV's Austin Lee joins us in studio with more on this. Austin.
Well, Patricia, break-ins have been an almost daily occurrence over the last 7 days at the Chinese restaurants. The latest early this morning. Thieves have been caught on camera, but the owner says they are still out there.
I can't sleep, so sometimes I can't focus myself.
5 break-ins in just 7 days. Now the owner of Takumi Barbecue and Spicy Man restaurants says something needs to be done to catch those responsible before the situation escalates.
What if they come by and they go into the store? They don't afraid of anything. They using a knife or something to threaten my stuff.
Out of fear for her safety, the owner has asked CTV News not to identify her. In one of the recent break-ins, someone broke off the front door handle of the upstairs restaurant after staff tried to use chains to keep thieves out.
I'm in a dangerous situation because they must have really sharp tools. I don't call it weapon, but it could be something really dangerous to all people and the stuff.
The owner says on February 3rd, a thief made off with the cash drawer. Then another break-in on Friday when they tried to break into the cash register, and again on Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday when someone walked around the business filling a bag with random items. Still no word from police on any arrests.
I call the police every day, and then I don't even know should I call or not. Every time I give them evidence from the photo and from the videos. Yeah, but I'm still waiting.
Ottawa police say the investigation into these incidents is ongoing and officers are following all available leads.
They'd look for similarities, they'd look for people they know, they would talk to informants, they'd look for any evidence like fingerprints or things that might be there.
In the meantime, the owner waits anxiously for those responsible to be arrested.
Yeah, it makes me really worried, and I just can't focus on doing things. It's very hard for me.
And it's not only these recent break-ins that have staff at Spicy Man and Takumi Barbecue on edge. The owner tells me there have been other break-ins in the past, including one incident where someone smashed through the front window of the building. Patricia.
Scary stuff. All right, CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. And we do have extended coverage of the break-ins at the two restaurants on Merivale. You can find more online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Still ahead, the first Black employee of the Ottawa Transit Commission, now OC Transpo, recognized as part of Black History Month celebrations. 84-year-old Winston Cumberbatch shares his story coming up. Well, Via Rail passengers continue to deal with canceled trips along the Ottawa-Montreal-Toronto corridor. Another 7 trains were canceled today, along with dozens of others scheduled in the coming days, bringing the number of canceled trips to 35 this week. The Crown Corporation still has not said exactly what's causing the increase in cancellations, only that it's dealing with operational constraints. Affected passengers were rebooked or provided a refund. Meantime, Canada's major airlines have all suspended flights to Cuba and are now working to get Canadian travelers home from the island. Cuban officials say jet fuel is no longer available at airports across the country, affecting both domestic and international carriers. According to Global Affairs, just over 7,200 Canadians are registered as being in Cuba right now. Well, an Eastern Ontario mayor is slamming the government's return to office policy for federal public servants. In a post on social media, North Grenville Mayor Nancy Peckford writes, "This policy once again reveals the clear bias for employing people living in the city instead of outlying communities like North Grenville." She adds it will have the effect of significantly narrowing the talent pool for federal public servants in the future. The government plans to require executives to work in the office full-time starting in May and all other employees 4 days a week in July. Peckford says many public servants in her community will now face a daily commute of up to 3 hours. Unions are also pushing back on the policy change, but the government says it will promote collaboration. Well, new data is shining a light on the number of federal government employees found guilty of misconduct or wrongdoing. According to the government, between April 2024 and March 25, there were more than 26 cases, resulting in 145 public servants being fired and another 783 suspended without pay. Others received written reprimands or other disciplinary measures. Some were sleeping on duty, while other violations are more serious, such as workplace violence and privacy breaches. The greatest number of terminations were reported by the Canada Revenue Agency. The mayor in Renfrew County has had his pay suspended for nearly half a year after the Integrity Commissioner found he abused the strong mayor powers. The mayor of Killaloe, Haggerty and Richards Township, located approximately 2 hours west of Ottawa, was also found to have used his authority to bully and harass staff members. CTV's Dylan Dyson joins us now with the details on this. Dylan.
Patricia, strong mayor powers were introduced to help advance the province's goal of building 1.5 million homes by 2032. But Killaloe, Haggerty and Richards Mayor Dave Mayfield was found to be willfully blind to its true intentions and instead harassed town staff members with his perceived power.
And Councillor Smith?
Yes.
The resolution is carried.
Killaloe, Haggerty and Richards Mayor Dave Mayville has had his pay suspended for 180 days.
In our view, it's necessary for a maximum penalty to reflect the seriousness of the nature of the breaches.
Following a complaint in December, an Integrity Commissioner's report has found that Mayville has willfully misinterpreted the province's strong mayor powers.
Our mayor has been using those strong mayor powers to, in our opinion, to advance his own agenda.
Granted to the township last May, the strong mayor powers allow mayors to advance the province's priorities of building more homes and infrastructure to support housing. Instead, local councillors say the mayor was trying to act as king of the township.
I think for our mayor, the strong mayor powers kind of went right to his head. He was trying to direct agendas, he was trying to direct staff, he was trying to direct how we run meetings, which, you know, is completely contrary to our procedural bylaw.
All of the directives or decisions that I had made was organizationally and administratively.
It was also found that while misusing the strong mayor powers, Mayville was using his authority to abuse staff and even threaten the township's CAO's job.
The manner in which he's attempted to impose these decisions on the council and staff has amounted to bullying, intimidation, and harassment of staff.
I've said at meetings what a toxic work environment it was, especially for our staff. We were very concerned for their mental health, their well-being.
I think at this time, no comment. They're simply directions or decisions that I've made.
Mayville says he has sought legal counsel to determine his next steps.
I'm trying to do what's best for the township and for the future, and I think that's number one on my mind, and I think we're a better township with the strong mayor in effect.
Councillors in Killaloe say they brought in the ministry to instruct them on the use of strong mayor powers last year, so there never should have been a misunderstanding. At this time, Mayor Dave Mayville has been barred from communicating with town staff outside of council meetings, where he is still permitted to participate. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, the U.S. president is once again taking aim at Canada, this time threatening to block the opening of a new major trade corridor between Windsor and Detroit. The Gordie Howe Bridge was supposed to open this year, but the Prime Minister is insisting this will all be sorted out. CTV's Stephen Keys live in studio with the latest. Steph.
Patricia, the U.S. president says he wants to be compensated for the bridge, but Prime Minister Mark Carney says he spoke with Trump on the phone this morning and explained to him that Canada, and in fact, paid for the $4 billion construction project. The bridge will connect Ontario and Michigan, two economies deeply integrated, especially when it comes to the auto sector. Many people in Detroit and Windsor also cross the border every day for work. Trump was in favor of building the bridge back in 2017, but is now falsely claiming it was constructed with U.S. materials, something Carney says he tried to clear up during their call.
I explained that Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion, that the ownership is shared between the state of Michigan and the government of Canada, and that in the construction of the bridge, obviously there's Canadian steel, Canadian workers, but also U.S. steel, U.S. workers that are involved. This is a great example of cooperation between our countries.
In the same social media post about the bridge, Trump also took aim at Ontario's ban of American alcohol, but Premier Ford says he's not backing down on that.
I encourage people not to back off on it. This is key, that we even double down if we have to. We're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the entire world, and that's one of our key negotiating areas that we can resolve within a minute.
Ford says he will not remove the ban until the U.S. lifts its tariffs on Canada. Ford, along with other Canadian and U.S. officials, say the bridge will open. The bridge is owned by Canada and the state of Michigan. Patricia.
CTV's Stefan Keys live for us tonight. And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of Trump's threats to block the opening of the Windsor-Detroit Bridge. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel at any hour. Well, a mix of highs and lows for Team Canada on what is officially day 4 of the Olympic schedule. In what is expected to be a preview of the gold medal match in women's hockey, Canada came up well short against Team USA, suffering a 5-0 defeat in round-robin play. The Canadians missing prolific scorer and their most decorated Olympian and captain Marie-Philippe Poulin. But despite that disappointment on that ice, Canadian athletes did add to our nation's medal count. CTV's Scott Hurst reports.
Down and out. Captain of the Canadian women's hockey team, Marie-Philippe Poulin, did not play against the Americans on Tuesday. She's listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury after taking a hit into the boards during Canada's win over Czechia Monday night.
Losing her is obviously a big one because the United States have been the better team internationally over the last couple of years.
And the United States proved to be too strong on this day, beating Canada to remain undefeated in the preliminary round of the women's hockey tournament. Staying on the ice, Canada is back on the podium, this time in short track speed skating, a silver medal in the mixed relay event.
So close to the podium in Beijing, so it kind of feels special just coming back here and just getting ourselves on the podium.
A shared moment of joy for Kim Boutin, Courtney Sarreau, William Dangenou, and Felix Roussel. Florence Brunel and Stephen Dubois also getting medals for skating in the earlier rounds. Figure skater Steven Gogolev with a strong performance in the men's singles short program with a score of 87.41, setting himself up for the free skate on Friday. So far so good for opening ceremony flag bearer Mikhail Kingsbury, third in moguls qualification, just behind his teammate, Quebec City's Julien Viel. Both are moving on to the finals. And making its Olympic debut, women's alpine team combined. One skier tackling the downhill speed event, the other racing the more technical slalom course. Canadians Valérie Grenier and Laurence Saint-Germain finishing 13th. So the medal count now stands at 3, 1 silver and 2 bronze, with more athletes in the mix for medals tomorrow, including in the ice dance final. 3 Canadian pairs, led by Piper Giles and Paul Poirier, third heading into the final event. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, and taking a look at the standings, Norway leads with 12 medals, followed by Germany, Sweden, Switzerland, the U.S., and Austria. Canada sits in 13th with 3 medals now, 1 silver and 2 bronze.
At that time, there were no black bus drivers. They were all white.
Still ahead, he has more than a few stories to tell. Ottawa's first black public transit bus driver sharing his own as he celebrated for Black History Month. And taking a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam, it is -9 out there right now. Just some light snow continuing to fall and will into the evening as we take another look now at the Queensway. This is just east of the Vanier Parkway. In this stretch of the Queensway, things are moving pretty well. We know we've had some pretty tough going on the Queensway on the other end, closer to Woodruff, where there was a collision earlier. Cars are moving around that in the eastbound lanes now. And while we are watching the drive home, we're also thinking about OC Transpo and looking for Ottawa's worst commute. Do you use public transit? How long does it take to get to your destination? If you think you have Ottawa's worst commute on OC Transpo, contact us at ottawanews@ctv.ca. We want to tell your story and maybe get change in motion.
Saving lives is what they do. February is Heart Month, and together we can support the University of Ottawa Heart Institute in providing world-class cardiac care. For almost 50 years, our community has played a critical role in advancing the Institute's life-saving work. Your donation will support groundbreaking research, innovative patient care, education, and prevention. To learn more, visit FebruaryIsHeartMonth.ca.
Proudly sponsored by CTV.
Today's Snow Report is brought to you by Camp Fortune. Let us teach you to love winter.
And here is today's snow report at Camp Fortune. Of course, some new snow down, more to come. Good solid base there. 4 of 7 lifts are open, 17 runs are available. Edelweiss closed for the day today. Mont Cascade, 3 of 6 lifts and 15 runs. At Calabogie Peaks, all 3 lifts and 19 runs are available. And over at Fort Lodge, it's 3 of 4 lifts and 18 runs.
Erin here from Camp Fortune with your insider tip. Weekday skiing is great skiing, and at only 15 minutes from downtown, we're even close enough for a long lunch. See you on the slopes.
Well, he was Ottawa's first Black public transit bus driver, and now he is being celebrated. 84-year-old Winston Cumberbatch began working as a bus driver in the late 1960s, setting the path for others to follow. CTV's Peter Sperling has his story.
This is the young Winston.
Winston Cumberbatch is part of Ottawa's history, paving the way for others.
I never thought of that, you know. I just did my job.
Hired as a bus operator in 1968, he's being recognized as being the first Black employee of the Ottawa Transportation Commission, now OC Transpo.
At that time, there were no Black bus drivers. They were all white.
Born in Barbados, he moved to Ottawa from London, England at age 25. One evening, riding a bus in his new city,
I said to myself, you know, I would love to do that.
He applied and months later was told,
"We have checked you out, and I believe you're the one that should start. Our first Black employee. And the rest is history."
Cumberbatch says transportation management was supportive.
I felt very comfortable, really. There were some negative situations, but you know, it never bothered me that much, really, because I know who I am and the way I was brought up by my parents, and I had that confidence that I would be an asset.
Bus driver for the first 10 years, then supervisor for the next 20, retiring in 1998. He still remembers his first day behind the wheel.
This lady said to me, you know, I'm happy that OTC employed a Black employee because the city must reflect all people.
Mayor Sutcliffe honoring Cumberbatch at a City Hall ceremony recently.
Very touching ceremony, an opportunity for me to honor him and his family as a leader in our community and as the first Black employee of OC Transpo during Black History Month.
At 84, Cumberbatch remembers his time with OC Transpo fondly.
I enjoy that, yeah, meeting people and as a young man, you know, to drive this big bus. And, you know, it was a great responsibility.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Amazing. Congratulations to him. Well, it's another snowy evening in the capital as another winter storm moves through the region. The special weather statement that was in effect earlier today just ended. Some people were out taking advantage of the clear ice on the Rideau Canal before the snow began, and that ice became very snow-covered. It was beautiful on the ice this morning. I can attest. Was out there as well. As we take a look at our conditions moving through the capital, so fair bit of snow moving through. Some of it will be freezing drizzle in parts. You can see a little bit of that moving through into the late evening, early overnight hours. We should be mostly into flurries by the time you wake up tomorrow, but we do have flurries throughout the day tomorrow. As we take a look at these temperatures across the country right now, a very mild day in St. John's again, 0 degrees there. -6 in Charlottetown, -5 in Halifax. As we move a little further west, some mild temperatures in Ontario as well. They are on the plus side in Toronto and in Windsor today. We might get some of that by week's end. And into the prairies, -8 with a mix of sun and cloud in Winnipeg, 2 degrees in Regina, 6 in the sunshine in Calgary, 7 in Edmonton, and out in Vancouver, double digits on the plus side, an 11-degree day, reminiscent of Olympics in Vancouver way back in 2010. As we check our lows tonight, -10, -11 for the most part, a little milder along the Seaway, -7 in Kingston, -6 tonight in Trenton, -10 in Maniwaki, Gatineau, and Petawawa. Kemptville also seeing -10 overnight, a little cooler in Tremblant, a little warmer in Montreal. Checking your highs into tomorrow, so some flurries and some fairly mild temperatures, and just a light wind for you tomorrow, -4 right here in Ottawa and in Cornwall. Again, those milder temperatures along the Seaway. Kingston on the plus side tomorrow at 1 degree, as is Trenton. Bancroft just under at -2. Pembroke and Kittigan-Zibi will see -4 tomorrow. Similar temperatures in the rest of the region, a little warmer in Kemptville. Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. So a lot more mild on the board than what we have seen. A few flurries tomorrow and -4. We'll still see the overnight lows get fairly cold, so that's probably good for the canal and other things like ice sculptures heading into the last weekend in Winterlude. Sunshine on Thursday and -4, -2 on your Friday. For your weekend, -1 with a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday, -2 and cloudy on Sunday. And we are holding on to those plus temperatures into next week, perhaps 2 degrees on your family day, Monday. Well, this Valentine's Day, you can express your love with the Charm Diamond Centers. From timeless classics to dazzling statement pieces, there's something for every love story, and we want you to celebrate that amazing person in your life. Enter for your chance to win a $2,500 gift card to Charm Diamond Centers. Scan the QR code on your screen to head over to ctvottawa.ca to enter now. Good luck. Well, turning now to a big development in a case gripping the U.S. Today, host Savannah Guthrie's mother is still missing, and now the FBI is releasing new daunting images of a masked intruder at her home in the hope someone will recognize him. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Melvin has the latest.
The images are chilling. Outside Nancy Guthrie's home, a masked intruder is trying to cover up the doorbell camera in the early morning hours of February 1st. The person is wearing a ski mask and black gloves, carrying a backpack and tools, wearing a weapon in his belt. FBI Director Kash Patel says the images show an armed individual appearing to have tampered with the camera at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. The doorbell camera was removed, but police were able to recover this key digital evidence.
Even though these cameras might have been disconnected, they're always recording and uploading most likely images and video to the cloud. And through digital forensics, it seems that they were able to recover video.
It's the break investigators needed in their agonizing search for the elderly mom. Heartbreaking messages from the family have gone from hopeful to desperate, pleading for the public's help.
If you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
The FBI also put up missing persons billboards in dozens of cities. Guthrie was dropped off at her home near Tucson the night of January 31st and reported missing the next day. The Guthrie family believes their mother is still out there. Ransom notes sent to media outlets demanded $6 million in cryptocurrency. But as the deadline passed, some question if the notes were even real. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
Well, just ahead, a popular spa in our region is changing its cell phone policy in an effort to get people to disconnect.
Tonight, Canada and the U.S. face off over a multi-billion-dollar bridge.
Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion.
What the Prime Minister said on a phone call with the U.S. President. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
Taking another look at the roads and the drive on the Queensway, it is still snow covered. That snow will continue to come down for another couple hours or so. That earlier collision at Woodruff has now been cleared away, but there are slowdowns in the usual spots out there. Well, the National Capital Region will host a major cybersecurity summit later this year.
It reflects the ambition we have to position Ottawa-Gatineau as Canada's defence innovation hub.
The mayors of Ottawa and Gatineau making the announcement this morning. The In Cyber Forum Canada Conference will feature hundreds of speakers and exhibitors from defence, law enforcement, and the public sector. Organizers say the goal is to build lasting trust in the age of AI and global threats.
In an era where digital resilience is inseparable from national security, bringing together leaders from government, industry, academia, and civil society is more important than ever. This event represents more than a conference. It is a national collaboration, a shared commitment, a collective step towards protecting Canada's digital future.
Events will take place at Rogers Centre, Ottawa, and in Gatineau from December 1st to 3rd. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. Photo radar may be gone, but it appears Ottawa's red light cameras are working. CTV's Steph Keys joins us now with more on this and other stories. Steph?
Patricia, the latest numbers show fewer drivers were caught running red lights last year as the number of tickets issued dropped for the second straight year. More than 44,600 tickets were issued in 2025, down from 45,300 in 2024 and 56,400 in 2023. But there was a new hotspot for red light camera tickets. For the first time since 2017, the busiest camera was not on King Edward. It was at Wellington Street at Bay. More than 2,200 tickets were issued at that intersection. Two cameras on King Edward were still in the top three, however, the one at St. Andrew Street and the other at Besserer.
Well, it's the bicentennial of Ottawa. It is the bicentennial of the start of the real construction of the Real Canal. It was done by the Irish. It was done by immigrants, all immigrants. And this is why it's so important this year of all that the parade come back.
The president of the Irish Society says he may have to scale back plans for the upcoming St. Patrick's Day parade in Ottawa if he doesn't get enough funding. Thomas O'Neill says the budget is still short, close to $20,000. Police security and city costs have increased since the last time the parade was held before the pandemic. Organizers are hoping for donations to fill the funding gap. Heads up to Ottawa parents. The city's spring swimming registration starts online tonight. Before signing up, you can visit the city's website to browse through available swimming activities for all ages and favorite your preferred options. Registration goes live at 9 p.m. Registration for all other recreation, arts, culture, and virtual activities starts this Thursday at 9 p.m. A new Canadian study suggests babies who regularly eat peanuts, eggs, and fish are less likely to develop allergies. Researchers looked at more than 190 food allergy studies from around the world to identify the strongest risk factors for developing allergies. They found that delaying the introduction of foods with peanuts until children were more than a year old doubled their risk of becoming allergic. The study found similar results for fish, eggs, and other common food allergens. A popular destination in our region is making a major policy change. Nordic Spa in Chelsea, Quebec is hanging up on cell phone use. Customers will now have to leave their phones in their lockers. The devices are banned from saunas, baths, the floating pool, rest areas, and massage and treatment waiting rooms. Phones will only be allowed in the lobby, restaurant, and locker room. Nordic says this is all about disconnecting and tuning in to what truly matters. Patricia.
I think they have had rules that encourage people not to use their phones a whole lot.
Yes, and they're definitely not allowed to take pictures.
Yeah.
Even though people do it for the gram.
But people have said it's gotten louder recently, so they're really cracking down. Now, I don't want to worry about a cell phone in my bathrobe pocket, someone grabbing the wrong bathrobe.
That's true.
All my nice pictures of you there.
Exactly. Yeah. They'd be gone. They'd be gone. What would we do then?
Thanks, Steph.
I would suggest that they need to be extremely curious and cautious, and that the best is still to see their family physician or primary care provider or specialist.
Well, more Canadians than ever are turning to artificial intelligence with questions about their health, but is it providing accurate answers? We'll have that story just ahead.
Ottawa's premier foodie fundraiser is back again. Join CTV as we support Taste for Hope, benefiting Shepherds of Good Hope. Indulge in mouth-watering creations by Ottawa's top chefs and make a positive impact. Wednesday, June 3rd at Brook Street Hotel. Your support will directly contribute to supportive housing programs and help those experiencing homelessness in our community. For more information and ticket details, head to tasteforhopeottawa.ca.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
February is Heart Month, and supporters of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute are helping light the capital red. Tonight you can see the glow of red in the Byward Market as the Ottawa sign is lit up in support of the Heart Institute's Light the Capital Red campaign. Well, doctors are once again warning about the dangers of artificial intelligence and misinformation when it comes to health advice. Some patients are turning to services like ChatGPT before consulting a doctor to try and self-diagnose, but a new survey finds that can be harmful to their health. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
Here's what you can do using ChatGPT.
Online, there's long been plenty of hype.
ChatGPT is now better than your doctor.
About how AI chatbots can diagnose medical problems. A quick consult that's free and easy.
Honestly, I think it's really good. I would place a lot of trust in the answers it gives me.
But the Canadian Medical Association sounding the alarm, warning consulting an AI for medical advice can be dangerous, especially if a patient delays or skips seeing a human doctor.
I would suggest that they need to be extremely curious and cautious, and that the best is still to see their family physician or primary care provider or specialist.
In a new survey of 5,000 Canadians, around half said they'd consulted with either Google AI or ChatGPT for health information. But the survey also found those following AI health advice were 5 times more likely to report health-related harms compared to those who didn't.
The harms tend to be delay in diagnosis or side effects from the treatment.
I think it's pretty good at some things, but there are some inaccuracies.
Some are concerned patients are turning to AI chatbots because of the shortage of family doctors. In fact, more than half who got information online said they had to because a walk-in clinic or doctor weren't available. But experts say an AI can confidently state something untrue and lacks a full patient history.
AI doesn't know them as a full person in their context, whereas I do as a family doctor. I know that they actually had this other symptom last year that they forgot to mention to AI.
And it turns out many are skeptical of AI responses. Only 1 in 4 in the survey say they trust it to provide accurate health information. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, just ahead, we'll have more on the efforts to get Canadian travelers home from Cuba as fuel runs out on the island.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
Far side pass, and it's an early shot. He scores!
Canada's major air carriers are winding down flights to Cuba because of the fuel shortage on the island. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more.
WestJet and Air Transat have joined Air Canada in suspending service to Cuba. The airlines are making arrangements to get travelers now on the island back home. Flights are suspended because Cuba has cut off the supply of jet fuel to its airports. The island relies on Venezuelan oil, but that tap was turned off when the U.S. took over Caracas. The shortage has also hit resorts, leading to blackouts and closures. Ford got hit with an unexpected $900 million tariff bill at the end of last year. It brought the automaker's total tariff cost to $2 billion U.S. for 2025. As a result, when the automaker reported earnings today, they were weaker than expected. More electric vehicle charging stations will be built across Canada. Ottawa will spend $84 million to add 8,000 ports. It follows the recent announcement by the Prime Minister to spend a total of $1.5 billion to build out EV infrastructure. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 73.78. West Texas Intermediate is down to 64.16. Western Canadian Select is up to 48.69. And the TSX gained another 233 points today for a new record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Well, coming up, the Ottawa Hospital removes a popular beverage from its menu as it tries to offer healthier options. Taking another live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam, it is -9 out there right now. Some light snow falling into the evening. It will taper off to flurries, and we have a more pleasant day on the way for you tomorrow.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Well, tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, we are paging Dr. Paul to learn what you need to know about norovirus and gastro illness. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa. It all starts at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV tonight. Best Medicine, Will Trent, 2 episodes of The Big Bang Theory, and W5 Avery Haynes investigates. Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
We're looking at an early afternoon start, and this storm is going to bring some fairly heavy precipitation totals right through into the evening commute home.
Well, we certainly saw a bunch of snow fall through the afternoon into the evening. The special weather statement has ended, but this latest dump did cause some issues during the evening commute.
I call the police every day, and then I don't even know should I call or not.
An Ottawa restaurant owner is speaking out after thieves broke into 2 of her businesses multiple times in just the past week.
I think for our mayor, the strong mayor powers kind of went right to his head.
A mayor in Renfrew County has had his pay suspended for 180 days after it was found he abused the strong mayor powers and used his authority to bully and harass staff members. A final check on the weather now. We will see the snow taper off to flurries. That's what you'll wake up to tomorrow. -10 on our way to a milder day than what we've had the last little bit. Looking at -4 for the high and another -4 on Thursday in the sunshine as we move towards a nice mild final weekend of winterlude. We'll end the week with -2 and cloudy conditions. And then the weekend looks like this, a mix of sun and cloud and -1 for your Saturday. -2 on the Sunday. The overnight lows also starting to get less crisp. And on your family day Monday, we're looking at +2 with milder temperatures, as you can see, into next week. So we may be through the worst of the wickedly cold winter weather. Let's hope.
Counting down the days.
Time now to check in to see what our news team is working on for tonight. Stefan Keys will be on the desk at 11:30.
I sure will, Patricia. And tonight we're keeping an eye on the situation in Cuba and how it's impacting Canadians. Tonight we'll hear from an Ottawa resident who is in Cuba right now. He flew out to Veradero over the weekend and wasn't supposed to come back until the end of the month. But with the airlines pulling out, citing a shortage in aviation fuel, trips are being cut short. This resident in particular says WestJet has already emailed him saying his flight has been canceled. So the question is, what now? Join us for that story and more tonight at 11:30. Patricia.
All right, good stuff. Well, finally for us tonight, when you're not feeling well, sometimes all you want is a can of ginger ale. But you'll no longer be able to get it at the Ottawa Hospital. The hospital says It has pulled the beverage from its menu because of its limited nutritional value. It's part of the hospital's wider plan to overhaul its menu to provide healthier options. Although it may be a popular remedy people turn to if they have a sore throat or upset stomach, there is a high sugar content, but ginger ale will still be offered at the Montfort and Queensway Carleton hospitals. So if you're a pop lover, go there if you have a choice. I understand
ginger
what
ale's
they're
good for
trying
everything,
to do,
no?
But my mom always told me that, right?
Mine
I didn't go to
too.
AI on that. That was what my mom was saying. And there's diet ginger ale, isn't there?
There's zero ginger ale.
I'll tell you.
Zero cal ginger ale. It tastes great.
Do not put me in a hospital that doesn't have Diet Coke. I can
Well,
get by without the ginger ale, but
Hopefully they'll have a vending machine so I can
Yeah.
send someone else to get me
you
my
have to
ginger ale.
send someone down to give it to you.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah, I remember begging for it the last time I was in hospital. One Diet Coke, please.
Please,
It'll
please.
cure me. Have a good night, everyone.